Steve, amazing job on this film. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Now, sometimes an actor finds a perfect project that speaks to them, and aside from Pete, I can't imagine anyone closer to that than you, a former firefighter who actually went back during 9/11. How cathartic was that experience for you, and showing and doing this role?
Oh, it was just so important to me. As I've been saying to all day, just knowing that Judd was doing a movie with Pete, I didn't even know what it was about, and I wanted to be in it. Then when I found out what the storyline was and how personal it was to Pete, I just thought, oh man, I hope there's something in it for me. And so I was so grateful that they offered me the part of Papa, the senior guy in the firehouse who has, some issues of his own. And, but he's the guy that, finally connects with Pete's character in a really, meaningful way. And where Pete's character is able to hear who his father was,
Sure.
on a human level. And so that was a privilege to be able to do that.
Now, Papa is squarely in Scott's corner. In fact, even after the rocky introduction at the ball game, he might be the only character that we never really see turn on troubled kid. Do you think that Papa sees himself in Scott, or is it that he sees much of Scott's father in him?
I think it's all of that, but I think it's more that he sees Scott's father in him, and I think he sees all the kids who lost a parent on 9/11, and
Right.
certainly ones that lost, um, whose parents were a firefighter. He sees that. He remembers it so well. He probably remembers, he came across Pete as Pete's character as a kid, and so it's never left him. And he reminds Bill Burr's character of that, because he sees how Bill is being really hard on him for good reason.
Sure.
But Papa's there to remind him, like who this kid is and where he came from, and you don't give up on a kid like that.
Now, can you talk to me about Davidson's presence and what some of his strongest qualities are as an actor?
I think the fact that he's willing to put himself out there, um, and tell his story in a fictitious way, but really it's him. And I thought that was incredibly brave. And I was just so impressed that he's got such an ease. I don't know how he did it. I think it's hard to play yourself in a certain way. But the smart thing was that he surrounded himself with his friends. They were writers on the film, or else they were just around. And so he created a world. He and Judd created a world that he was very comfortable in. And I think that was the key to the success of the film.
Now, for taking so many elements in Pete's real life and having other characters or having other actors portray those characters, can you talk to me about the collaboration process of working with Judd and Pete about your character?
Well, Judd likes to rehearse, so he held rehearsals with all of the actors who were playing firefighters in the film, and then Pete would come around too. And that's something that a lot of directors don't do. Is the rehearsal process? You not only get to know your character, but you get to know the people that you're working with, and then you can use that. You could use that camaraderie in the film itself. So I think that was an important element.